Nebraska Scott Frost to the podium.
Hello everyone, glad to be here. Really excited to take part in this. Glad we can be back doing this again. Really excited for this season, excited to kick off college football with our game against Illinois earlier in the year. Also really proud of the 3 young men that are here to represent us, and really excited about some of the changes that have taken place in Nebraska, in particular our new athletic director, Trev Alberts, who I've known for a long time and already had a lot of good conversation with. So couldn't be more excited to get things started.
Great. We'll take questions for Coach. Questions for Coach Frost. In the back, in the middle. Straight in the middle in front of the cameras.
Hi, Coach. Jason Jorgensen from KRVN. As you look at this going into this year, is this your best team, at least on paper? And what's the biggest key you're focusing in on your team to get better and make some progress this fall, at least in terms of wins and losses?
Yeah, I feel like you're so far away from me. I don't know if I could throw a football that far, ever. But without a doubt, this is the most excited I've been about our team and the most confident. Part of that's talent. Part of that's just the character of the young men on our team and the culture surrounding the team. You know, I'm excited for this season. We got to go earn whatever respect we get, and so far we haven't done enough of that. But our players are really excited to do it. We've really been focusing on the things that we needed to fix as a football team. We've had too many self-inflicted wounds, too many errors, turnovers, penalties, those types of things that have kept us from winning some close football games. Special teams is another one, and our players are really mindful of that and dedicated to that, and have been through spring ball and summer. And I think they know the little things that we all need to do to get better that will help us win more football games.
Coach will make it easier on you. To the left in the blue shirt, right in the front.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, CNHI Indiana. Coach, I'm just curious what NIL has meant for a program like program like Nebraska with a kind of rabid fan base. Have players already gotten deals, and what do you think it's going to mean for them in the future as well?
I'm excited for NIL. It's going to change the landscape of college football, probably college athletics in general. But anything that benefits our student athletes, I'm really excited about. I think Nebraska is uniquely positioned to take advantage of it just because of the passion surrounding Nebraska football. We're the only show in town. We have fans all over the country, and all our eyes are on us in the state of Nebraska. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to partner with our players and help give them some advantages. I don't think we've really scratched the surface yet of where this can go at Nebraska, probably around the country. There's a lot of work that still has to be done to figure out the best ways to make NIL work for our student athletes. But I think Nebraska is uniquely positioned to do it, and our leadership's done a good job laying the groundwork so we can take advantage of it.
We'll go to the right of the camera stand, and then we'll come up front here in the white shirt.
Right here. Bill Bender, Sporting News. Coach, what has your relationship been with Trev since your playing days? I mean, up until the last few weeks, and how much of a difference maker is to have somebody who played for the program and knows what it is to win big at Nebraska?
I was really excited when they hired Trev Alberts. I didn't have anything to do with the process. I think the coaches at the University of Nebraska, not just the football program, but the other coaches, were really excited to have somebody else that might understand Nebraska, understand the unique assets and opportunities in Nebraska, and also the challenges in Nebraska. Nebraska is a special place, and it's unique. I think we hired a guy that understands that, that's worn the uniform, that's been there. We all wanted somebody that that understood Nebraska and could come alongside the coaches that are already in place and help us to succeed to the highest level possible. I couldn't be more excited than to have Trev. Kept in touch with him over the years. I've already met with him 4 times, including once before he even started the job. So I know he and I are on the same page with a lot of the things that we want to do to try to help build this program and build the Nebraska Athletic Department.
Coach, to your right, 2 o'clock.
Good afternoon, Coach. Jason Diaz from Husker Power Online. Which position are you most excited about putting on display this year?
You know, it's hard for me to pick one position, but Nebraska's always been known for Husker power and the offensive line. We've recruited well on the offensive line, but it's hard in this league to come in as an 18, 19-year-old and be dominant, as physical as the Big Ten is. The group that we have there right now is, I think, a group that we can build on. Coach Austin's done a great job with them. Zach Duvall's done a great job with them. I expect that to be one of our strengths this year, and looking forward to those guys playing on the field.
To the left of the camera stand, Ralph Russo, AP.
Scott, over here.
Hey.
Thanks. Ralph Russo, Associated Press. I want to get back to NIL for a second. How much has that come up in recruiting as far as parents and players asking about how Nebraska can be a benefit to them on that level, and how much can you use it in recruiting in the future?
We have to wait and see. Obviously, we're going to be attentive to the rules and make sure we're doing things the right way. Everybody's subject to their state legislation, and one of the ones in Nebraska is that as a employee of the university, we can't go out and get deals for anyone. So a lot of these things are going to happen away from our control. That being said, I know there's a lot of excitement around Nebraska because I've heard it, and I think a lot of those things will happen organically, and inevitably that'll the news of that will get to recruits and I think help us a long way down the road.
Coach, 10 o'clock on the aisle.
Colton Bartholomew, Wisconsin State Journal. Scott, you and your program were pretty outspoken about trying to play through last season, and given what's been in the news this week, do you think that games that have to be canceled or moved around because of COVID this year should be forfeits?
I don't have an opinion on that, and I won't. We fought hard for football last year because we thought it was the right thing. I'm really grateful to the people that helped make it happen so that we could get a chance to play last year. Where we landed last year was a good place. I thought the season came off well with the Big Ten and was managed well. We're going to trust them to make those types of decisions.
To your immediate right in the front row on the aisle.
Hello, Coach. How you doing? Lynn Harrington, Stay Alive, Power 5. So let's talk a little bit about Huskers in-state recruiting. It's been some shortcomings. You have people from, this is coming from an Omaha native. You have like the Metro's Big Four, Deshaun Woods, he signed with Missouri. Caden Helms signed with Oklahoma. How do you make the recruiting a stronghold back again, in particularly the Omaha area for Husker football?
I can't talk about it, but none of those young men have signed anywhere, and I'm not supposed to talk about people that are still recruits. What I will say is we're in the process of trying to build something where we can be winners. Winning is going to help a lot of things, and that's where our focus has been, and that's going to improve a lot of things, including recruiting.
Right in front, Emily from Yardbarker.
Hi, Emily from Yardbarker. A lot of the other two coaches have talked about interesting mantras heading into this season. Do you guys have one that you're focusing on as you move towards the season? Some sort of keyword or mantra that you guys are focusing on?
Not really. I'm not into sloganeering. If the players need me to motivate them or all the time or come up with a unique slogan to get them to play harder, I probably don't have the right players. I played for a coach at Nebraska, and Coach Osborne, that he didn't need all the sayings and slogans. He just taught us the right way to do things, and we went to work. That's what we need in our program.
Coach, 11 o'clock on the aisle.
Dustin Schutte, Saturday Tradition. Scott, you guys have lost some close games over your 3 years, but you have your most veteran team. How important is having a lot of experience back on this team and maybe closing out and being on the right side of some of those close games? Yeah,
there's been way too many close games, and I kind of addressed that with an earlier question, but when we look back at those games, it was a mistake here, a mistake there, a turnover, a poor play on special teams, a penalty at the wrong time. The teams that win in this league don't make those mistakes. there's 14 good programs in this league, top to bottom. I think this is the strongest league. There's 14 good head coaches and 14 good coaching staffs. If you beat yourself in this league, you're not going to win. And we've had a few too many of those self-inflicted wounds, and our kids are really attentive right now to try to do the things that get that fixed. Having a veteran team and experience, I think, helps limit those mistakes. We haven't had an old team yet. This will be probably the most experienced team that we've had, so we're working together, coaching staff and players, to make sure those things don't happen.
Have time for one or two more. We'll go to Sam.
Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald. Hey, Scott. I want to give you a chance to brag about your quarterback a little bit. I know he's not here, but how much more help do you feel like you can give him this year, and how much has he meant to the program, not only his leadership, but just his stick-to-itiveness? I mean, he's had to take a lot of criticism just like you have, but he's still there at Nebraska and still a leader.
I couldn't be more excited for Adrian than I am right now, Sam. I've walked in his shoes before. Adrian came in and earned the job as an 18-year-old and had a phenomenal freshman season. I think he would tell you he wasn't as satisfied with his sophomore season as he would have liked to have been. Some of that was his fault. Some of that was our fault as coaching staff and the other people around him. He's already lived the highs and lows of Nebraska football and that bright spotlight being on you. This is the most comfortable I've ever seen him in who he is, the most confident I've seen him in his talent. He knows the things that we all need to get better at, the things that he can improve. I'm expecting him to have a really big season. We play week 0. He would have been here as one of our representatives, but our players, this is their 1 week off before we get started, and he wanted to go home, and I wanted to let him. But he's in a really good place mentally and physically, and I think he's primed to have a really good year.
And last one on the left, on the aisle, standing up at the tie.
Hey, Scott. Jeremy Warner, 24/7 Sports. You mentioned week 0. What are the opportunities and the challenges of preparing for a conference game in week 0?
I'm ready to get the season started. We've been dealing with a lot of off-season things. I think our players are excited. It extends the year by a week, which is a challenge, but it also gives us 2 bye weeks in the middle of the season. It's a conference game on the road, which is always tough in this league. We're playing against a team with a new coach and Coach Bielma, so we're going to be doing a little bit of guesswork on some of the schemes and things we'll see, but we're going to do our best to get the players ready, and this group of guys right now is a group that I'm more excited about than any group that I've worked with since I've been at Nebraska. So we're going to band together and do everything we can to get ready for that game.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great season.
Appreciate it.